Hello, friends. Welcome back to the With Mrs. B podcast. It has been a minute, and I am so excited to be back and with this next season of With Mrs. B. We get to do some really fun stuff around conversation. I say we like there's a bunch of us. It's me, myself, and I. I am committed in this next season to have as many connected conversations with as many interesting people about all the good things as I can. And this beautiful human here with me today has always been top of my list as someone to have on the podcast. And you'll agree with me as we dive into it. I just want to welcome to the podcast Nadja Marks. Nadja is someone I met about a year ago, lives in Sarasota, Florida, and is a full-time and really good one, by the way, artist. She is also a very powerful transformational coach, a visionary, a leader, and probably one of the vibiest souls you could ever be around. So welcome, Nadja, to the podcast. We're kicking this off, babe.
Hi,
This
Danielle.
new season conversations. Yeah. And so let's dive right into it. Today's topic is one that I love. I love it so much. And we had a really awesome conversation just today, earlier today, about this very thing. And I want to unpack it with you because you and I, even in all of our work and transformation and coaching and commitment to personal growth, we are continuing to have aha moments. All right, let's dive in.
It doesn't ever.
Let's dive in. So let me start by offering this up. Is anybody listening today, have you ever struggled with overwhelm, like being overwhelmed, thinking that there's not enough time to do all the things, or you're feeling stretched thin, or even just overwhelmed with how to handle something? Just overwhelm in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course. And someone told me something very powerful a few years ago when I said, "Oh my God, I'm overwhelmed." It used to be something that I said all the time. And he said to me, "Danielle, overwhelm is just a lack of commitment to your commitments."
Mm-hmm.
I said that to you this morning, Natty. And so I'm wondering if you can unpack a little bit for us what came up for you when I said that and what you wanted to share around commitment today. This is the word.
Ever since, our word today that we're unpacking. Can you hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. Our word that we're unpacking is commitment. And when you said that being overwhelmed is a lack of commitment to my commitment, it felt like a surgical incision to what my issue was. Like it was surgical. It was like direct hit, like an arrow right to the right place. And I love when that happens because, first of all, it saves me time. And you and I want to be doing things faster, always more efficiently.
Yeah.
We want to experience our creative zone of genius more often than not. And we want to experience the stories, what we call rackets, the stories and the beliefs that are not working. We want those to be way less of the time. Like that's something that you and I really value is more efficiency, more creative genius, zone of genius, and less stories. So when you said that, it was like, a relief because I'm like, the stories can now just all fall away. Like it felt like they just fell away and I just went straight to the root of the issue, which is what am I committed to? Like, what am I actually committed to? And it's a question that
I'm
I,
going to ask real quick before you dive into the question and what are you committed. For listeners, I want everyone to connect if you can in this moment before Nadi dives in to share so that you can almost like process this in real time with her. And that is like, can you think of a commitment right now, or can you think of a place in your life where maybe you're feeling this overwhelm, or maybe you're feeling frustration or discontent, or whatever word you want to put in there. Something's not working. Okay. Think of a place in your life where something's not working and where your commitment to said thing could be potentially what's in the way. So I just want everybody to just sort of grab hold of that in their mind as you take us on this journey, Nadi.
yeah, I love that. I think that most humans, we think that we're committed because it's like, I'm showing up. I got out of bed. I made my bed. I did the thing. I must be committed. So I think that there's a level of I'm doing all the things, and then there's the next level, which is committed. Like being and doing whatever it takes to have it happen. And
Yeah.
those two things are not necessarily the same.
Yeah. Showing up isn't the same as committed.
That's right. And so some
Yeah.
people are very busy. I'm busy. I'm always busy. I'm busy. But are you committed to actually what your goals are or what the results that you want to have? Or are you just busy?
Right.
And that
Yeah. We see this.
Go ahead.
I was to say we see this come up, or I observe this in my own life all the time. We could be talking about work, we could be talking about relationships, we could be talking about our health, how we're taking care of ourselves and what we're committed to there. And at the end of the day, every single part of our life requires a certain mentality of commitment, right? In order to be winning, excelling, experiencing whatever it is in that part of your life that you want to experience. Again, I go back to that's why I asked everybody, like, get it in your mind. What is that thing that you're wrestling with right now? And can you, for a moment, connect to the fact that there is a level of commitment required to whatever that thing is?
Like we can say, I want something. I want something to happen. I really hope, like, if someone's like, I really hope that I find someone. I really hope that I meet someone. I would really love to make a family. I would really love to have a healthy relationship. But are you committed to it? Like your life depends on it. Like yours and
Yeah,
other
well, and
people's lives depend on it.
that's the thing. We talked about this recently. I can't remember if it was you or one of my other friends in this transformational space that we live in. We talk about this all the time, doing something as though your life depended on it. Here's the deal, friends. So many of the things that we're talking about, wanting to create or have in our life really isn't depending on it. And that's a really big distinction to make, because if it were, it would look different. And it isn't. It's just something that we are seeking to create. And we know that it would make our lives feel better, fuller, whatever. But that term now, as if your life depended on it, is a really interesting thing to me, because I don't always think that that's what's going to generate the commitment, unless truly your life is depending on it,
Okay.
right? Like if you're starving to death, you're going to be committed to finding food.
Okay.
But
Let me make
yeah,
a distinction on this because I used to feel that way about it, but now I'm gonna actually prove to you that your life does depend on it.
well, okay, this is definitely naughty vibes here. I'm leaning in.
So I'm not saying you're gonna die. I'm not saying you will go without food or you will die. I'm not talking about survival. I'm talking about giving life to what you came here on this planet to do. Like your vision gets to live. The highest version of your relationship gets to live. The highest
Mm,
version of I just had a breakthrough with my cousin. I enrolled him to make a life decision that's going to change the course of his life. And I've watched him not make good choices for years, more than 10 plus years. And yesterday or 2 days ago, he made a choice that actually is going to change his life. Would he have survived his life? Yes. But I'm talking about the highest version of his life getting to live that life. So it's like,
mm,
that same person who told you about how overwhelm is just not being committed to our commitments, that same person, he said, either we're in survival or we're in creation. And so my cousin was in survival. So he'll survive in survival. He can
mhm,
survive there. He's been doing it. But is he in creation? Is he in the realm of life where he's actually living according to the highest values that he holds true? Or
mm, mm.
want to go back to survivals. Whatever version of our life gets to live. That's what I mean by like your life depends on it, like your vision depends on it, like your
Yeah,
truth
so good.
depends on it.
So good. I wanna just repeat that, like, because, it's one of your favorite quotes from him, and when we say him, I just wanna say out loud, Michael Strassner, who is one of the most phenomenal transformational leaders I have ever had the opportunity to work with and be mentored by. You are either surviving or creating. So, whatever it is you're looking at in your life to shift, to be different, to be part of this vision that you have for your life, you are either surviving it, you're either just showing up, as we said earlier, you are,
My neighbors keep going.
or you are fully. You okay, for those of you who cannot see and are only listening to the podcast, this is a very typical thing for Nadi. She has visitors regularly, and, they just walk into her space. So you're either showing up and surviving, some days may be better than others, or you are intentionally choosing and creating, and that takes commitment. That takes commitment. And it requires you to regularly be connected to what you are creating so that you are choosing accordingly over and over and over again to be committed, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncomfortable and messy and doesn't seem as though it's working, right? Committed means doing whatever it takes.
Yeah. So I think
And so when we're
go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say, so when we're in this state of overwhelm or discontent or what, you and I were unpacking a lot this morning, how that can show up. That's why it really landed for me when he said to me all those years ago, it's not overwhelm. It's a lack of commitment to your commitments. The moment that you look at what you're committed to and you close those loops, we're going to talk about that in a few minutes, like how do you get back to commitment? That's when everything starts to shift.
So it begs the question, what are we committed to? So you and I, we made at the beginning of 2025, we did an exercise where we had multiple pillars of life and we decided what are we committed to in each pillar. So in our
Mhm.
relationship, we are committed to a 10 out of 10 in our relationship with our respective people. We're
Mhm.
committed to a certain level of fitness and moving our body and drinking water, and we're committed to a certain level of decluttering the home like that. I mean, I am. I committed to like
Mhm.
no clutter in my house anymore. And throughout the year, I'm slowly just decluttering and moving things out. And so I think that's a helpful way to talk about commitment is like in leadership, in relationship, in health, etc. Like understanding that there's pillars of life. I know you talk about this all the time, that there's pillars of
Mhm.
life that when you're intentional with that pillar, and you're committed, even if something comes up and you're like, oops, I did it again. And then you get to recommit.
Yeah.
Either you recommit or you renegotiate or you delegate. So let's go into that stuff because this is your realm.
Okay, let's go into that. Yeah, I love this. So, because I lived my life for many years in a state of overwhelm, right? Like it was almost like a badge of honor that I had. Like I'm so overwhelmed. And now I declare like I don't use the word overwhelmed in my life ever. And when I hear people use it, this is what I do. I pull out my Michael Strassner quote and I say, like, what commitments have you been uncommitted to? What commitments do you have staring you down that you get to manage? Right. And the fact of the matter is, I said, we talked about it this morning, every single thing that you have on your calendar, have as an obligation, chose to show up to, every relationship, like everything, it's there because you chose it. It's there because you chose it. And so if you are in this state of overwhelm, this lack of commitment, you get to look at these things and go, okay, what needs to shift? What gets to shift? You get to either close a loop, right? There are certain commitments that we know aren't just going to go away. They're not just going to go away. We get to close a loop. I mean, we just finished the extent tax season. Any of you who are like me and every single year definitely choose an extension. On October 15th, it was due. It was due. And so, like, if you had a commitment to finish your taxes, you got to close that loop. Hopefully all of you did. And if you didn't, well, I guess it'll catch up with you. So you get to close the loops. And the advice that I was given way back then was start with the smallest one first, right? Start with the smallest loop first. And where you can't, the next place that you get to go is to renegotiate, right? Like, how many times have you had a commitment to someone, to something, to an area of your life, and regularly you were in overwhelm, you were uncomfortable about that commitment? Well, what would it look like to renegotiate, right? That came up. Nadia had agreed to do something for me, and she was struggling to get to it and was feeling guilty about that. And I'm like, hey, what about just saying, can I do this differently? Can I not do this at all? right? So close loops, renegotiate, delegate. You brought up delegate, like those of us who just love to do everything ourselves and are just sure that it cannot be done by anyone else. Yeah, I know. She's pointing at me for those of you who can't see her. That is definitely me, right? So close loops, renegotiate, delegate, and sometimes just remove altogether, right? Like, bye.
Eliminate.
Have you ever Yeah, eliminate, just like, you know what? It shouldn't have been there in the first place, and I get to just, like, get rid of it. And, there might be a price to pay for that, right? But we do have that choice. You always have that choice to recalibrate, to renegotiate, to eliminate, to just show up. Like, how many times have you procrastinated something for like 17 weeks and then you do it and it took you 17 minutes and you're like, what in the hell was I thinking? Right. So, my invitation is to go through that process as quickly as possible and just like be a self cleaning oven. Every single time you get into a state of overwhelm, you can remind yourself, oh, this isn't overwhelm. This is a result of recalibration that gets to happen to my commitments. And I get to get really clear on what I'm truly committed to.
Yeah. So this morning what I wanted to do with you, cuz I know that if I keep going day after day, and I know that I'm creating on top of a shit scoop, which one of our mentors calls a shit scoop. When you are in a breakdown, you've not been committed to what your commitment is, and you just keep
Something
going.
is not working. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I said to you, like, I have 5 different things I've been just putting off. Like, I will be talking on the phone. I'm like, "Oh, I'd really like to clear those things." And then we get off the phone. I'm like, "Shoot, I didn't clear those things." But today I was like, I can't afford to not clear these things anymore because I'm just creating on top of a shit scoop. And I want to have a blank slate. And I just bless
Mm.
everyone at home that you have people in your life that you can clear things with so that you can create from a blank slate rather than on a shit scoop, because we all need those people in our life that's not going to judge. They're just going to hold neutral space. You and I do this for each other. We just hold neutral space, and it's like, okay, what was underneath that? Like, why didn't you do that? And it's not with shame. It's just like understanding what actually did you not want to feel that had you not do that thing. And so you ask.
Yeah, I love that you just went there. I love that you just went there. Let's pause for a second on that because this is a huge aha moment, friends. So anytime you are out of integrity with your commitments, right? Every single time you are choosing not to do something, it is because you are avoiding feeling something. Period. Write that down. Every single time you are out of integrity or not aligned with your commitments in breakdown, as Nadi just described, you are avoiding feeling something. So, what is it you are avoiding feeling?
What do you not want to feel? Just be honest.
What do you not want to feel? And
Say,
I would offer up that the degree to which you're willing to ask that question and go there really largely dictates how you feel in your life, like the
100%.
quality of how you're living in these areas of your life. That's a whole nother conversation,
No,
right?
that's the conversation. Like, we're talking about commitment. There's something about commitment that's like an arrow on a target. And when you're wondering why the arrow keeps going to other places but not the target, and you're like, I don't understand why I keep creating these really toxic relationships. Like, if you're honest, what do you not want to feel with with creating the target that you actually want to go for? So, if we're going to use that relationship example, if somebody keeps creating relationships where someone is abandoning them or rejecting them, what kind of intimacy, what kind of vulnerability do you not want to feel that's going to have the other person show up with vulnerability and intimacy? And so you just keep creating relationships that are not vulnerable, not intimate, and then they go into abusive and abandoning. I'm just giving an example of like, what do you not want to feel that has your arrow not sync right up with that target?
Yeah, let's use working out as another example, right? I think it's a simple, very familiar example that everyone can relate to because I'm telling you right now, and I know this for a fact because I've run in some circles with some really fit AF humans. even they have to be connected to their commitments. And I don't think that anybody wakes up every morning ripper and ready to go and work out and choose the best foods and be perfect, right? So let's use like overall fitness, health, wellness, moving your body, an area where people really get uncommitted to their commitments. Okay. What is it that we don't want to feel when we say, okay, I'm going to be fit. I'm going to move my body every single day for 30 minutes or every single day for an hour, whatever it is you've declared to do. I'm going to do this. And then you don't.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I don't want to feel. I don't want to feel self-judgment. And oftentimes when I'm working out, especially if I'm working out for the first time after going a while, I don't want to feel the self-judgment, the self-negativity that I haven't until now known how to let go of.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I don't want to feel. I don't want to feel uncomfortable. I don't want to feel inconvenienced. I don't want to be reminded of what I am not yet,
Mhm.
whether it's being strong enough or out of shape. But I will tell you, like, I don't wanna feel inconvenienced. We wanna go on with our life, and we wanna be well and fit and healthy, but we wanna do it when it's on our time and when it fits into our, preferences for what we like and what we don't like. Like, we don't wanna be inconvenienced. We want what we want. We don't wanna be deprived.
Yeah. Ultimately, it all comes down to I don't want to feel pain. I don't want
That's right.
some kind of pain. I want to feel
Yeah.
comfort and I want to feel no pain. Comfort is basically no pain. So I want to feel comfortable and I want to feel no pain.
Right. So if we are lacking in our commitments because we want to avoid feeling something, more often than that, we want to avoid feeling pain or any kind of discomfort, whether that's physical, emotional, mental. We are avoiding feeling something.
So you and I
Yeah.
made a really big financial declaration this year.
Hmm.
And
We did.
I've heard it said that once you make a declaration, you're already in breakdown because you're already not you haven't hit that goal. I want to make $180,000. I'm already not there. And I'm like alarmingly not there, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
And um and so what's cool about the work that we're up to is that even when we make a goal and we feel all the discomfort in the face of that goal and we feel all the stories and all the things, it's called psychological assessment. It's like I'm feeling all of my psychological assessing about this and that rather than just doing the thing. But what I
Yeah.
love is that making the goal has me reorient myself to become the person that creates that goal. And without the goal, I wouldn't become that person that creates the goal. I would stay at where I'm at.
Oh yeah, this is good. This is this is a great place to we're going to we just like flew that plane really fast and we're going to land it here in a minute, and this is a perfect segue into that because it's not always about the actual outcome of the goal that you're looking to create. Like, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to run a marathon. I want to find the love of my life or have a healthy relationship and marriage or generate $250,000 a year. It's who you become in the process of achieving that goal through the committed actions that you take, even in the face of discomfort, inconvenience, all of the shit scoops that are going to come up along the way. Right. So it's not just about the goal of what you're declaring, it's about who you become when you're connected to that commitment. And this can be little commitments, this can be big commitments, but at the end of the day, this is what I feel in my soul. The best, fastest, surefire way to stay committed to your commitments is to go all in on whatever it is: health, relationships, finances, business, your environment, like whatever it is. You get to go all in. And in those moments where you've signed yourself up for things that don't fit or aren't aligned, or like, you get to regularly be looking at your commitments and renegotiating, eliminating, reprioritizing, closing loops so that you can continue as fast as possible to immerse yourself in the things that matter. To be going all in means to be doing that every single day, like a self cleaning oven.
So I'm just thinking about the people that are listening to this and thinking going all in sounds like a fantasy. Sounds like, what is
Mhm.
it? How does one do that? Like, I just ordered your merch. Shout out to Danielle's merch on her website. I just
Oh, yeah, the commitment collection.
Commitment
Perfect.
collection, perfect. So I just
Yeah.
ordered your shirt that says all in. And for me, what all in means is every time, well, first of all, it means being clear on what my goals are. And then every time I want to avoid pain, avoid that email, avoid that phone call, I lean in with my being, with my presence. I allow the feelings to happen, the pain to eat my bone marrow if it needs to, and I just keep leaning in. All in doesn't mean you're just like running, streaking through a campus public field. It's like that's unless your goal is to be publicly humiliated or to have your naked body shown on television, then that might be your all in. But like, I think it's important to know what your goals are so that all in makes sense according to your goals.
Well, I'm hearing you say all in doesn't mean crazy, haphazard, with wild abandon, just, you know, jumping in the deep end.
Yeah.
What it means is, I mean, at the end of the day, what it means is being committed, period, to whatever it is that you are declaring you want for your life.
I think it really has to do with goals. And this is coming from someone who has resisted goals and resisted results. Like, I am an artist and I would like to just stand at my easel and paint and have no actual goals. Like, I mean, Danielle knows me really well, and you've seen me go many months floundering without a goal. But I think that it's really like commitment really is paired with a goal. Because if you don't have a goal, then you're gonna think you're committed just by being alive. Like, you're gonna think you're just, "I got out of bed." Like, yeah, that might
Mm.
be your goal, and everyone's goal is different, right? Like, some people's goal is just, "I need to get out of bed today." Like, that's my goal, like, depending on what season in life they're in. And so committed would look like getting out of bed, making your bed, giving yourself love that day, and being committed to that
Mhm,
no matter what. Whereas other people are
mhm.
making goals of financial goals or relationship goals or maybe a goal in every single one of the pillars. And everyone is,
What I'm hearing you say is that identifying the goal, the tangible goal associated with what you're looking to create in any area of your life, that gets to be like the lighthouse. So you know where you're going, so that all of these committed actions, all of these making good on your commitments are actually stepping stones, right? To get you to the goal that or else, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you committed to creating?
yeah, so I'm coaching for a coaching program, and my students were meant to make a goal in 3 different categories, and their goals were quite low, and I knew that they were low compared to how powerful these students are. So I encouraged them to times 3 their goals and, like, have a totally different set point. And I was like, "Even if you're shooting for the stars and you hit the moon, like, you're still gonna get further than making a really wimpy goal." And
Mhm,
they outplayed or out resulted or whatever the word is, they outcreated every single goal that they made. And they had the highest goal of everyone on the whole team. They had the highest goals and they overhit them. And what that taught me was the importance of gathering a big vessel. Can I tell a really quick story about the from the Torah, from the Bible?
sure.
Okay, this is really important. So there was a widow and she came to a prophet and she's like, "How am I supposed to feed my family? My husband died." And so the prophet said, "Gather as many vessels as you have the faith for. As many jars or vessels as you bring, that's how much this olive oil. I'm going to pour the olive oil and it's not going to stop pouring until your vessels run out." So it's like, how big is your vision? How big is your generosity? Because that's how many jars you're going to bring. Like, that's how many people you're going to serve. That's how many, what's another example of vessels that's practical? Like, if I have a financial goal, it's because I'm serving people at a higher level. I'm serving
Mhm,
more people at a higher level than I've been committed to before. So, how big is my
mhm.
vision? How big is the vessel that I want to hold so that when worse the resource flows in, it doesn't stop until it fills the wholeness of the vessel that I declared because I had the vision for it.
Right. Yeah, and I think, what I hear you tying it back to is that goal, whatever it is, it gets to be aligned with the vision that you have for your life. It gets to be bigger than you think is even possible. And that gets to be that gets to be the guiding force for whatever it is you do or are committed to along the way. So if you had to leave our listeners with one, I mean, this is a perfect time of year to land this message, right? We've got like just what, 70 some days left in 2025. So whatever it is you're looking to create between now and the end of the year, whatever momentum and renewed commitment it is you're looking to create between now and the end of the year, what is your message to the listeners on the topic of going all in and commitment?
My message, and this is a retreat that I'm actually about to hold, so this is coming from that. But be clear on what your declaration or your goal was this year and clear off any, like basically clear the shit scoop of what you did create. Like, because there's going to be a shit scoop there, right? Like we made a big declaration and then maybe we didn't hit it. And so maybe there's a maelstrom of self-judgment um and being right about, see, you never do what you say you're going to, like, there's so many stories that come from not hitting our goals each year. See, you never hit the goal. You never make it past 3 days of whatever the stories are. Like, what are you trying to be right about that you keep being right about? Like, clear that.
Clear it up. Clear it up.
So be clear on what you did say, what your vow was. Clear up what you're making yourself believe or what you're believing about what you created. And then recommit for the new year. Like, new year, new moment, new slate. Clear off all the stories of like what's happened in the past. Like, the past is the past, and we get a new blank slate every moment, but we don't get that blank slate if we're bringing the past into this. So I would leave them with also the question, like, what are you trying to be right about? Like, what are you committed to being right about? I would like to say this is my final thing. What are you committed to being right about? Because whatever you're committed to being right about, that's what you will be right about. So if you're committed to being right
Mhm.
about being a piece of shit, then you're going to be a piece of shit. And if you're committed to being right about being a servant of God who is here for a reason and that you always have the resources that you need to make that happen and that you're always surrounded by beautiful people, then you're going to create that. Whatever you're committed to being right about, that's what you will create.
Yeah, 100%.
What do you want to leave them with?
Friends, we could talk about this all day long and we will. We will talk about it more. I think this is a topic that we can carry into other conversations and into the new year. My invitation to you is to get really clear about what you want to create for your life. And if you are interested in having or want to uncover a little bit more of some of what we've shared and talked about, tons of opportunity to do that inside of the community called The Collective, that is a brand new space for everyone and anyone who is looking to build a life they love and be aligned and be in community with others that are doing it. So, on that note, thank you, Nadi, for being one of the first guests as we launch this season of With Mrs. B, conversations with amazing humans about some of the most important things for building a life you love.
Yay!
Until next time, everyone, we will talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.